Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I'm driving a 1975 Mazda Rotary pickup truck. Up front is a 1.3 liter rotary engine, down below is a 5-speed manual transmission. But let's get back to that 1.3 liter. This is not the original rotary engine, although rotary pickups did come with a 13B carbureted from the factory. This is not that. This is essentially a Frankenstein motor. It is a half Bridgeport, so it gets all of the amazing sounds. It does all of the brapping you could ever want it to do. And the interesting thing is that I believe this is the first time for a review that I actually have footage of putting this motor together. This is not footage of a similar motor. This is that exact motor we are driving right now. So I'll show that on screen. It's super awesome and it's really cool to finally see that engine coming into fruition. The problem with the rotary is that this is a pickup truck and the only rotary pickup truck that they ever made. Rotaries do not make a whole lot of torque, so this thing cannot really tow or haul all that much, and thus Mazda really didn't sell too many of them. So if you're unaware of what a Bridgeport is, this is a half Bridgeport, and what that means is that there's 3 irons in a rotary engine, or at least a 13B. There's 3 irons that let air and fuel in. Basically, Matt took 2 of those irons and made the holes where the air and fuel comes in way bigger. And that's what gives it that rotary, lopey sort of cammed sound, even though there's no camshafts. And it gives it that aggressive whop, whop, whop that you're hearing right now. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 5-speed manual transmission. It's a Turbo 2 transmission out of a Turbo 2 Mazda RX-7. So it's been modified, it's been shortened a little bit. A lot of the old school cars, you gotta shorten the transmissions if you wanna run a Turbo 2 transmission. You gotta shorten it up a little bit to then put it into here. The original transmission was either a 4-speed manual or a 3-speed automatic. Now for most of this video, as you can hear, I'm already yelling. You're probably just gonna get a lot of good rotary noises. So if you're a big fan of rotaries, this is definitely the video for you. The truck is running off of a Megasquirt MS3X. Same thing I run in my FB. I absolutely love that ECU. If you have a rotary, please put it on a standalone. You'll thank me later. It wakes the car up so much that I will not own a rotary with a stock ECU ever again. It's just not worth it. So let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 3 different gauges. On the far left is my speedometer. Then in the middle is my tachometer. I absolutely love that. I love center mounted tachometers. I think every rotary car for sure should have one. Any sports car should have one. And then on the right, I have fuel, temperature, and amperage. The steering wheel obviously has no buttons on it, although I do have like a little lights hazard thing that I really like. But it has the old school Mazda emblem on it, which is absolutely awesome. I think it's the coolest emblem that Mazda ever made. To the left of me, I just have my door handle and my window crank. That's literally it. Then to the right, I have where a radio should be, but the radio it's gone. And then my very bare bones basic heating controls that I've come to know and love in 70s cars. They didn't really have much heater controls. Then I do have my parking brake, which is to the right. It's a handle that you pull out like really any older, smaller truck has this same setup. The Mazda B2200 from the 90s has, I'm pretty sure, the exact same one. And then we come to the actual shifter, which is super tall. This is the original shifter and shift knob that has been placed into the Turbo 2 transmission. Now the seats they're fine. It's a bench seat actually out of a Ford Courier, and we'll talk about that in a second. They're not super comfortable, but they're not really uncomfortable. They're bench seats in a pickup truck. You know, it's not a luxury car. Then we do have to talk about the looks. This thing looks absolutely amazing. I love the color, very 70s. the rotary power badge on the back, I mean, not badge, it's stenciled in, it's the whole tailgate. I just think this thing looks so classic, so unique, and it's really unlike anything you'll see on the road. But speaking of Ford Courier, like we mentioned earlier, this is essentially a Ford Courier. So if you guys don't know, Mazda and Ford have had a long relationship since actually 1973 is when they started their relationship, and this is one of the first vehicles to come out of that relationship. This is really a Ford Courier with a rotary put into it. So the chassis are very, very, very similar. They have different front ends, and of course the Fords don't say rotary power on the back, but really, if you squint a little bit, this is a Ford Courier with a weird sounding motor. That being said, they only made about 15,000 of these between 1974 and 1977, with most of them being made in 1974 and 1975, which is this year. And what I find really interesting is that these were for the North American market only. Japan did not get these. Australia did not get these. And so that makes it pretty unique that this is a rotary that only us Americans got. So when you see a Repu in New Zealand, Australia, Japan, they had to import it from here, which I just think is really, really funny. And so Mazda didn't make these for very long. Like I mentioned earlier, only 15,000 of these were ever produced. And most of them were sold in the Pacific Northwest of America because that's where the port was. And so if you're looking to buy one of these, definitely start checking the Pacific Northwest. That's where a lot of them have hung out their whole lives. But I kind of understand why Mazda didn't sell a whole lot of these, because they're not very practical. You don't have the torque to tow things or haul things. They had a weird engine, and honestly, they really only appeal to people who like mini trucks, who like sport little trucks. And honestly, that's not a very big market. But I'm so glad I've been able to drive one of these. This is an absolutely awesome experience. It's a unique experience, and if you're a rotary guy, get away from an RX-7 for a little bit and try something old school, because this is a totally different rotary experience. This is the first rotary I've reviewed on the channel that's not an RX chassis, which I think is super fun, and this thing is absolutely awesome. So I'm gonna end this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Matt, for letting me take out the Repu. I'm gonna end this video with just a bunch of audio clips and video of this thing because it's that cool. But thank you guys so much for watching.
Aside from my soul.